What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Micah. We're going to be speaking on the Aquarius this morning. Let's see what we got. Well, I should say we're going to be speaking on Aquarius today, right? Because some of you guys might not be watching in the morning, but it is a morning read for me, but it might not be for you, and that's perfectly fine. So we have, what are you becoming? It's what Amber, the crystal, was asking. What are you becoming? So ensure that you guys are understanding what you're becoming. How do you do that? You always look at what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, right? That's as simple as it gets, right? Success is dependent on what you do every day. So if you get up in the morning early, if you decide, hey, listen, I'm going to train, I'm going to read a book, I'm going to meditate, I'm going to do something productive that's going to help me grow in life, right? You say, if you're working at maybe a job, whatever, you're like, hey, I want to move up in this career. Hey, if you like, hey, I want to start a business, I'm going to do this. You see, when it comes down to anything you do, there's always going to be competition. And we understand that. To beat the competition is consistency and longevity. Because there's always going to be a situation where people want things, but nobody's going to continue doing it. We often get bored. People often get bored of doing something, and that shows you if they actually want what they get, or do they just do it for a temporary situation? So I do want to encourage you guys, if you ever think 20 years down the line, 10 years down the line, or even ask yourself, what am I making out to be? Why am I this way? You can change your whole life by changing your lifestyle. So just, and it, like, as cringe as it sounds to be like a motivational speaker, or you might look at it like, I heard this a million times. I'm serious. Take one day to just look at yourself and say, look, let's just start small. Start a little small. I promise you, wherever you're trying to go in life, take the little steps. Just like if you was trying to be a doctor, you might not want to go to law school and stuff. But if you want to work in just the environment or be treated as a doctor, you can go volunteer at the hospital, become a nurse. It's simple things you can do. To maybe you might not get the exact certification because you're not willing to go to school for it. But maybe you just want the vibe of being around in the hospital or helping people. You can volunteer and work your way up the ranks slowly but steadily. You know what I mean? It's different things that we can do. Such as like if you're a football player, you're any type of sports athlete, instead of going straight pro, you can, sometimes just work your way in the organization. You might be able to rub elbows with a pro player that might be able to get you into a community league and things like that. So it's just different things that you can do on a day-to-day basis that can help you with whatever, you know what I mean? But change your lifestyle, doors change your life, and that goes for everything you do, right? Oh, I didn't show y'all the card, my bad. I do want y'all to see the cards. Okay? All right, let's see what else we're going to do. Okay. Alright, the next one we have for you guys is breathe in your trueness. See, let me show you, right? There's plenty of situations where you have the famous quote, fake it till you make it. You have, don't worry about, nobody posts originality no more. Nobody, so don't worry about it. You know what I mean? Let me tell you guys something, right? Whenever you're being true in any organization or anything you do, it's not necessarily about people. It's about yourself. Because you want to be able to say that you done it solely out of you. You know what I mean? And that, I feel like that's where people go wrong at. They often do things for other people. And to gain that attention or whatever from other people, and then what happens is you're never fulfilled unless you fulfill yourself. Like nothing on the outside world is gonna make you be fulfilled in the inside. There's no materialistic thing. There's no amount of anything that's going to make you feel fulfilled in the inside. So all that starts with just having integrity, being true to yourself, knowing to yourself, and not lying to yourself, saying that you did it when you didn't want to do it through. So just make sure you guys are doing it through, make sure you guys are doing it true. You know what I mean? If that makes sense to you guys. With doors, it's your message for sure, right? So the next message we have for you guys is a different kind of love, right? You could be receiving a different kind of love, or you be giving yourself a different kind of love. No matter what, it's definitely not the same as you used to. So whatever love that you've been used to, bad or good, these things could be transferred in a different kind of love. Now there is a line in this card, and rose quartz is the crystal that is statement. But what I will say, rose could be rising up. So if you've been through a bad situation regarding a different regarding love, and maybe referring to your last card, you was looking for love outside of yourself, but this time you're now experiencing self-love. You're now experiencing truth within yourself, and now you're at a point where you're receiving different love connections because of that. You're now understanding the value of loving yourself. You're now understanding these things, so now you're receiving what you're not used to, but you're rising above because rose came up, so you rose above the difficulties. So because you rose above the difficulties, you're now experiencing self-love. Because you experience self-love, you're now receiving a different kind of love, a better kind of love. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's the message for you guys. Alright, so the next one we have for you guys is my Aquarius. It's the only theme, right? The only theme. The crazy part about it is, as I mentioned, when it comes on to, I mentioned this, did I mention this in this one? Yeah, what are you becoming? This was the first one. I have to make sure because I do many readings. I mentioned this in the first topic. What are you becoming? So when it comes on to the only thing you have to do is change the way your mindset is. See, that's where I'm resonating and saying for you guys. See, look, let me tell you, right? I'm not one of them terrorists that's gonna come on here and say something, and I'm going to be 100 with you guys. You know what I mean? And I feel like I'm more of somebody that genuinely cares, like, for me, and you're probably not going to see a lot of editing and processing going on, but it's going to be authentic. But the difference is going to, like I said, the difference that separates me from others is I'm Micah, they're them. So, what I'm saying is, I'm going to keep it real with you on this shot. And if you want to change your life, whatever you're going to do, we got to start with ourselves. The only thing we have to do is focus on ourselves. Like, if you really notice that, that's what actually drives a lot of success in people's lives. They focus on themselves. They stop worrying about what's going on, and they just focus on themselves. Because at the end of the day, it's yourself. So that's when if you want to know one thing that you can do to improve your life, focus on yourself. That's one thing. Next, you have anchor in. This could be applying to focus on yourself. This could be staying focused. You know what I mean? Having a solid grip on whatever it is that you're doing can change the difference. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but anything that's done in a simple fashion lasts a long time. When I say simple, I'm not saying, like, when you first start something, it might not be simple, but when you consistently do it, it becomes simple to you. Just like somebody that wakes up at 4 a.m. versus somebody wakes up at 8 a.m. Somebody wakes up at 4 a.m. to you, they're like, oh, they're crazy, they're going ham, whatever. But for them, they're like, nah, because I'm used to it. I've been doing it for 4 years, I'm good, you feel me? That's called being like anchored in. Doing something that you were just used to doing for a long time, and then you just become attached to it. It's like you're not going anywhere, you know what I mean? That's what I want for you guys. I want you guys, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, positive, hopefully something positive, because I know a lot of people out here, will hear that statement and take that in a different way. Whatever you're trying to achieve, something positive, and that's not going to affect nobody in a harmful way. I would say create a system, make it reasonable, and consistently do that for an everyday basis, right? Thereby making yourself anchoring. The next one we have for you guys is come to calm. Got a butterfly. I guess it was trying to fly. The car was trying to fly. Come to calm. Now, see with this one, I often resonate with like being relaxed. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I just told you guys before, somebody wakes up at 4 a.m., everybody looks at them crazy. But to them, it's easy. I don't feel like no job is as hard as the next job. Because I feel like if somebody does it every day, they will get used to it. And we shouldn't seek a job to be easy or hard. We should just see it as a job. Because everybody has their very pros and cons to their jobs that they do, whatever it may be. It could be a job as cooking, you could be a parent. When you do something every day, it can put a toll on you, but as long as you mentally prepare yourself and get used to it, you can train yourself to become used to whatever you do. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're gonna have happy days and not so happy days, but overall, it's gonna be original. Like it's gonna be average because you just like you know what you gotta accomplish. So it's important to have a relaxed state when you're doing anything. You should, in any type of field, whatever it is that you're doing, wherever it is you're doing life, you should never be hyperventilating. Never get to a point where you can't think clearly. And you think clearly in more of a relaxed state. I'm not saying be laid back to be lazy. I'm saying be laid back to be relaxed. Like, think about it like this. You're having a conversation with, you're being interrogated, right? Let's say being interrogated by the police, right? I'm just using this as an example because this is where people can just go crazy, right? Run, and they don't really think about what they say. Let's just say you have an interrogation with police. Look at how interrogation work. They sit back and they let you talk, and then they see him like an interrogation with your parent. Your parent interrogation. I'm talking about the interrogation period, but that's where either we shut down or we start overthinking too much. You know what I mean? And then you want to come in the middle. You want to have that relaxed stage where you're doing something, whatever you're doing, like, you can clearly make decisions because you're at an ease state of mind. So I just want to tell you guys to kind of like, okay, for example, if a pilot was to be flying a plane and something happened, and he has to make a decision, he can't, one, be obviously laid back and lazy because he's going to be sleeping and you don't want to sleep and flying the plane. And he also can't be hyperventilating where, like, again, a lot of this stuff is my opinion, so you could feel how you feel in the comment section, but it's my opinion. A lot of times a pilot can be hyperventilating or again overthinking or whatever because he's not thinking clearly. You want him to be relaxed, calm, because if he's not calm, then the passenger's not going to be calm. So it's important to just be calm in what you do, right? Do it to your best ability, but there's no point in accomplishing anything in life if you're not set, like mindset, ready to take it on in a way where you're not over killing it, where like training, right? If you train so hard, the next morning you're not able to train, I don't call that a successful training session. I call that actually a setback, because now you're injured. Now you gotta take 2 months to recover. You see what I'm saying? So just be careful with that. It's better to just, train mediocre or average and build yourself up to that level than to go hard and lift 300. I'm just looking at it because y'all see what happens in the gym. So it's the same way in every work life, right? You get in your work life or you get into any situation and you try to go too much or do too much or do too less, you know what I mean? You want to just be relaxed. So next one we have is heal your heartbeat. This does not mean forgetting anything that your partner did, anything that a friend or family member did to affect you emotionally. All it's suggesting is that we move past a lot of things so that we can heal on our own. Because when you forgive people, you're not forgiving them for them, you're forgiving for yourself. Because we don't want to carry that baggage to the next relationship or to the next friendship or to the next partner or whatever. We want to have a clear conscience, we want to have a clear opening for them to be able to, fill that gap. Or we don't want to have a gap, I should say. We want to have enough self-love built up where we can think rationally throughout the relationship. We can feel the way we feel. We're not accusing them of certain things and things like that, right? Let's see what else we got. So we have feel in order to know, right? Sometimes we have to actually experience things. You have a lot of people I'm not going to say certain people, but I'm just going to say this. We have a lot of people that go on the internet, that go on podcasts, that go, no disrespect, but I'm just saying, right? We have a lot of people that tell you, I'm not going to tell you guys how to do certain things if you're not physically doing it. You know what I mean? I can give an example and say this, hey, this is my opinion, but to somebody to tell you, this is how I do it, and this is how I feel like it should be done. You would never know how it should be done unless you physically do it. Because so many variations can take place. Like for an example, I'll give you an example. A field rent, what is it called? Real estate, right? Real estate, you watch a video, you're thinking, I'm getting the game, I'm going to do this, but the video pertains to telling you, hey, I done this, you should do this too. You can't just go off of that, you know what I mean? You gotta like work your way in, you gotta find out your region, you gotta do all these different variations that they tell you, but we often think that because we see somebody doing it, we have to feel to know how we actually supposed to do it. Because, you know, with race, with ethnicity, with money, with culture, with all these things being involved with the area code, there's so much things that could be a reason why you do or you don't get where you're trying to reside. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's important to not look at other people and apply that to you. You know what I mean? If that makes sense for you guys. But that's going to be the Capricorn reading. We're all done with that. My name is Micah. I'm sorry, that wasn't the Capricorn reading. I'm tripping. That was the Aquarius reading. I don't know why I said that. Anyway, that's going to be the Aquarius reading. See? Everybody makes mistakes. That's going to be Aquarius reading. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I just did Capricorn. That's why I said that. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys all the best. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you wish to. And thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next video.